Good morning. I'm here with Connie to share information with you about Web 2.0 plus math. We'll share ideas for increasing communication and collaboration and provide a resource with information about sites and current research used during this presentation. First, let me provide a little information, a little background. The web that most of us first knew can be labeled Web 1.0. When we used the internet, unless we knew HTML, we were obtaining information only. It was a read-only web. And let's refer to that web that allowed us to fill in the blanks, complete applications, and use order forms as Web 1.5. So now we're at Web 2.0, a read-write web that provides opportunities for internet users with few technology skills, the ability to create content and share that with anyone else who has internet access. Web 2.0 provides platforms for sharing information, photos, documents, content, multimedia. You're probably most familiar with social networking sites like Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, and Twitter. Sites familiar to our students and used for their social communities. So how do we move from Web 2.0 and these social communities that so define today's students to Web 2.0 plus math and a learning community? Well, our math standards include words like analyze, discuss, develop and evaluate, formulate questions, communicate mathematical information and ideas. And because we want our students to learn to collaborate and communicate, we can use Web 2.0. This morning we'll focus on these four tools: blogs, podcasts, social bookmarking, and wikis. We'll share what they are, demonstrate how they can be used in math classes, and provide links and information. Let's start with blogs, because they're a lot like the math journals that many teachers use to promote student reflection and response. You can think of a blog like an online journal with much greater potential. You can use this online math journal for student-teacher correspondence. You can create a small group discussion that provides opportunities for students to share. Blogging can take place among the students in your class, or it can be expanded to sharing between classrooms or schools, anywhere with anyone who has internet access. Generally, blogging requires that someone drives the bus by providing thoughtful questions that promote student interaction. A typical prompt could require a student response and then a teacher response or a student response, and a conversation about math begins. Other ideas to prompt analysis, creativity, and evaluation would be requesting that students create problems to answers you provided them, or asking them to define a specific type of problem and then requesting that they analyze other students' responses. Writing about math, explaining your strategies and answers, promotes math vocabulary and helps students develop that inner language that promotes understanding. You may want to begin a math blog on an individual basis or assign small groups to increase the comfort level among students. Now here's an example of a poor question. I posed this question to an individual student. I had received information through a standardized test that he didn't understand comparing numbers. He is a 4th grade student who liked texting. What I wanted to establish with this question was a place to begin this lesson, thinking that he possessed greater understanding about math notation. And so while this is an example of a bad question with an incorrect response, it provided me with great information. I better understood what this student did and didn't understand about notation. I could adjust my lesson, help him to build a construct for understanding notation, something he could use in the future. So this interaction provided me with information needed to deliver more successful instruction. So you see, when responding to a blog post, students can, one, right away demonstrate their understanding, or they can take personal responsibility and go search out the correct response, or they can share what they do not understand. I've talked about 2 levels of interaction, person to person and group. 2 sites for individual online journals are Penzu and Google Docs. In person-to-person, Penzu is like an online journal site. It's really pretty simple. It's designed with the feel of a notebook, and an individual student can email any part of the journal to a teacher. In our increasingly virtual world, students can submit assignments using Google Docs. There is one copy of the assignment to view and edit rather than an email document that's edited and sent back, and pretty soon you have several copies of the same document. And here are just two of the very many blog sites that can be used in a classroom. These are free. It's possible to set up private conversations. There are also educational blog sites like ePals and eChalk that promote interaction with students outside of your classroom. Protected. RSS feeds, also considered Web 2.0, can be utilized for organization, notifying you when something on a site has been changed or added. So about social bookmarking. Social bookmarking is about organizing your favorite internet sites and accessing them from anywhere you have internet access. It's also about sharing with anyone else who has internet, and it can be about collaboration. To better explain, let me share two sites that I use. I use iKeepBookmarks and Delicious. Both sites help me organize my favorites, but each is organized in a different way. Let me explain. iKeepBookmarks uses folders. When I log into the site, I see my sites organized in this way. I use this with parents and students because it's easy for them to understand. You can see I have a folder for math. I could create subfolders for math strands within this folder. Inside the folder, I have a list of hyperlinked sites with a brief description of each site. When I found an internet site I want to add to this iKeepBookmarks, I click on a little pop-up window set up through the iKeepBookmarks site. And now I have a place to select a folder. I can create a new one. I can title the URL automatically entered, although I can edit the title. The description can be edited and personalized, and there are little icons that I can add, or I can use the stars to rate the site. Delicious doesn't use folders, but rather tags. Tags are like labels, and Delicious lets me use my tags to index my sites. So rather than adding a site to a folder, I'm now adding tags to a site. My login page looks like this. I can add sites or articles. I can use this site for my professional work. When I find an article, some research, or a website to add, and I often use multiple tags, I might add one-to-one laptops, Web 2.0, or create a tag for a course or a particular project. My editing tool looks similar to the iKeepBookmark page. However, I access it through a little toolbar link. So how can I use social bookmarking in a math classroom? Well, as grade level or department level colleagues, you could create a shared resource. Again, RSS feeds are available to notify you by email when someone has added or changed something about a site. As a classroom teacher, create a site to share with students and parents. You could create labels for math strands or create folders based on math objectives and direct a student to a folder for practice. This extends learning beyond the classroom and the school day, providing access to math tutorials, manipulatives, and practice. That's wherever a student has internet access. It'll be interesting to see what information the 2010 census provides with regard to the digital divide, especially in light of the economic downturn. And probably the most beneficial use of social bookmarking might be to create a classroom web resource. Ask your students or take your students into the computer lab and teach them how to analyze websites. Create an evaluation tool. How is the site used? Is it a tutorial? Does it provide practice? Are there ads, pop-ups? What about audio or video clips? Rate the games. Students can provide comments and ratings.